If you feel like you're drowning in debt, but there's no way to pay it off because you don't make enough money, trust me, you're not alone. But there is hope. You can actually start paying off your debt even on a very low income. Hi, I'm Jacob Wade from Lunch Money. I'm a financial coach, and when I started my debt payoff journey, I was actually only making about $14 an hour. I had just gotten married and my wife was finishing out her last year at college, and so we were just living on my income and we were just trying to get by. But we started to take chunks out of our debt. We started our debt payoff journey when I was making that $14 an hour. And so I want to share with you some of the strategies that I've learned over time. And I've been a financial coach for over a decade now, and I've learned from my clients who have applied these strategies that it can happen even if you feel like there's no possible way you can pay down debt. So I want to break this down for you, give you some actionable tips, some money-saving hacks, and some budgeting strategies to help you pay off your debt starting now. And if you stick to the end of the video, I want to give you a couple of shortcuts to paying off your debt in larger chunks faster. All right, so if you've never started paying down your debt, or you're just trying to keep up on payments, maybe you've never done this exercise before, but the first thing you need to do is actually list out all of your debts. So that includes credit card 1, credit card 2, credit card 3, your student loan, your car loan, maybe you have a personal loan, whatever those debts are, things that you owe, you need to write them all down. And next to each of them, you need to write your total balance, your interest rate, and the minimum payment per month that you have to pay on that debt. You need those 3 line items. That's gonna help you organize your debt, see everything in full, and so you can start to make a plan of attack for that debt payoff. So once you have a list of all your debts, you're gonna wanna choose a debt payoff strategy. Now, there's a bunch of debt payoff strategies out there. There's really 2 popular ones worth considering. It's called the debt snowball method or the debt avalanche method. So what the debt snowball method is you're going to take all those debts that you just listed and you're going to organize them from top to bottom by the lowest total balance. So say you have a credit card with $600 balance on it, that's going to go at the top, and then the next credit card with a $1,500 balance, and then the next one, then your car loan, and then your student loan. And the idea behind this is you're going to focus on just making the minimum payments on all of those debts except for the one at the very top. You're going to focus on the lowest balance debt first. The idea behind the debt snowball is that you can get a quick win. You could pay off one of those debts and check the box and go, I'm done with that thing forever. And that will keep you motivated to start paying off the next debts. Now, the snowball part comes in where once that debt is knocked out, you're no longer making that minimum payment. So you can take the minimum payment and add it to the extra payments you're making on that next smallest debt, and so on. And so the more debts that you start to pay off, the larger payment you could start throwing at the next debt, and it turns into this snowball. So by the time you start tackling that last debt, you could be throwing a huge chunk of money per month at that debt, and you'll pay it off even faster. So the second debt payoff method to consider is called the debt avalanche. It's somewhat similar. You're going to organize your debts in order, but instead of by total balance, you're going to do it by the highest interest rate first and then go down from there. The idea is, again, you're paying off one at a time. You're going to put minimum payments on all of them except that highest interest rate debt. The goal is to pay off that one first because it's costing you the most money. The debt avalanche would technically save you more in interest than doing the debt snowball. And so you're going to ignore the total balance. You're literally just going to look at the highest interest rate and start tackling that one first. Now, listen, this is what nobody talks about with these 2 methods. Mathematically, the debt avalanche is better. Psychologically and motivation-wise, the debt snowball is better. But ultimately, both methods succeed because of this one fact. They are focusing only on one debt at a time. That's the actual win. Paying the minimum payments on all of your debts except for one, whichever one you choose, is going to be the win here, because then you're hyper focused on just knocking out one debt. You're not spreading yourself thin, trying to make extra payments on multiple debts at a time. That just doesn't work. If you focus on one goal at a time, one debt at a time, then you'll knock it out. Sure, you'll save a little bit more money with the avalanche than the snowball, but ultimately the real win here is just focusing on that one debt at a time. All right, once you've listed all your debts and you've chosen your favorite debt payoff method, now you're going to create a budget around that will help you start paying off that one debt at a time. So this budget is going to be a bare bones budget. We're going to focus only on the essentials, and we're going to try to put off as many non-essential items as possible. The reason behind this is if you could focus up for a short amount of time, maybe it's 6 months, a year, potentially up to 2 years, you could free up as much money as possible from your budget to start paying down your debt and start building that avalanche, building that snowball, and knock that out of your life forever. So the bare bones budget is pretty much what it sounds like. You're going to be paying for rent or your mortgage payments, you're going to be paying for utilities, you're going to be paying for food, and you're going to be paying for transportation costs. That's pretty much it. Everything else we're going to want to put on hold. Now, listen, you might feel like that's impossible to do, but if you've lived on a low income, you know that you can get creative with it. You know that you can live on less. And so if you do have things like streaming services or daily coffees, or you eat out, or you have you're overpaying for some type of service that you don't necessarily need, it is possible to put those off. You can hit pause on most subscription services. You could cancel the gym membership and start just working out by going for a run or working out at home. There's a lot of options to replace those services, things that don't actually cost money. Yes, this might feel like a step back, but you're freeing up money to tackle your debt. And as that snowball or debt avalanche builds, you're going to start paying more and more toward these debts. And as they get knocked off, eventually that money will be freed up to start bringing those things back into your life, and then ultimately saving money and investing money and start building wealth for the future. So create a bare bones budget that you can realistically stick to. Just pay for the essentials, maybe have a little bit of fun money in there, but not too much, because you really want to prioritize debt payoff. Listen, once you have that bare bones budget in place, you're going to want to track where your money is going to make sure you stay on track and it can actually start paying off that debt. Now, Lunch Money, this is what we specialize in. We connect to your financial accounts. We'll automatically bring in all of your transactions and categorize them for you, so you can know exactly how much you're spending and where, and you can see detailed reports on how your spending has been going, so you can make sure you start directing them to the right place. And ultimately, we can show you, here's how much money you have available left in your budget to start putting toward those debt payments. So if you want to check out Lunch Money, we'll give you a free trial, 30 days. Just check it out. No credit card required. Click the link below, sign up, connect your accounts, create a quick budget. You'll start to see, if I can live on this amount of money, if I can commit to this type of budget, then I can pay off this amount of debt per month, even if you don't make a ton. It is possible, but let us show you. Try out Lunch Money for free. Again, click the link below and give that a shot. So once you have a budget in place, you're tracking it, you now have a plan to start paying off that debt, you're gonna wanna consider finding ways to increase your income, even if just a little bit. Listen, I know you're already working hard, it's already overwhelming, but if you can find some side hustle work, some freelance work, maybe doing a couple of deliveries a week for DoorDash or driving for Uber, finding a little bit of extra money is money you did not have before. And that money can now 100% start going to that debt repayment. I had a buddy, in fact, he started driving pizza delivery in the evenings on top of his full-time job. And he did this for 2 years to pay off over $50,000 worth of debt. But every penny he made, all those tips, everything went toward his debt payoff. The other thing you can do is just look around your house. There might be stuff you just simply don't need. And if you take a couple of nice pictures of that thing, make a description, you could post it up on eBay or Facebook Marketplace, get rid of that stuff, turn your stuff into dollars, which can turn into faster debt payoff. In fact, when my wife and I were moving out of our home, we were actually able to get rid of a ton of stuff that we'd gotten, maybe not for a ton of money, but we marketed it well, packaged it well, had some garage sales and Facebook Marketplace, and we were able to make thousands of dollars on stuff we just did not need anymore. So a little bit of effort, a little bit of side hustle can maybe find you a few $100s a month to start chunking down that debt payoff. All right, so here's a few more money saving hacks to help you save even more money, even if you don't make a ton. So you've probably heard this before, but listen, there's food at home. And if you can make a meal plan, you can start to choose ingredients and meals that don't cost a ton and save a lot more than eating out. Eating out, inflation has caused meals out to be very, very expensive these days. So the more you can eat at home, the more you can save. And I will put a big +1 for meal prep. Prepping your lunches before you go to the office for the week, maybe choose Sunday afternoons to start prepping those meals, can save a ton. All that financial temptation to eat out with coworkers or spend money while you're out just because it's more convenient. If you can meal prep, you could save yourself dozens, maybe even hundreds of dollars per month. Next, Get your entertainment at the library. The library is awesome. There's actually some digital library apps that allow you to have access to movies and TV shows, let alone being able to have books that you can rent for free. Library access is amazing. You can even get online courses for free through the library. Of course, you can also use things like YouTube, and there's a lot of free online resources, but the library is a hidden gem. We do it all the time. Our kids read a ton of books, and so going to the library is a great free activity, but a lot of people don't know you can get streaming services through the library for free as well. And this probably doesn't need to be said, but buying generic in any way, shape, or form that you can, getting the same product from a different brand that gives you the same results can save you a ton of money, whether it's medication or food, any type of item that you can buy generic can save you up to 70% or more. And then finally, if you do have your list of debts, make sure you set automated minimum payments for every single one of the ones that you're have set up. So every single debt in your list, set up an automatic payment to pay the minimum payment on time. Late fees can absolutely destroy your debt payoff journey, so automatic payments is a nice hack to make sure you never get hit with that ever again. Listen, debt payoff can feel stressful, but if you put a plan in place, you start tracking your money through tools like Lunch Money, you create a budget that you can actually stick to, and then you find little ways to make extra money and start adding to your debt payoff payments, you can actually start paying it down faster than you ever imagined before. And if you want a little help with that, again, Lunch Money, we would love to give you a gift of free 30 days. Just click the link below. You could sign up, connect your accounts, create that bare bones budget, create a plan for debt payoff, and start paying off those debts. Even if you don't feel like you have enough money, we can help you find it. And if you found this video helpful, we want to continue to give out more money tips, so just subscribe to the channel. There'll be videos coming out weekly. And if you want some more money saving tips, I actually put together 12 frugal hacks that are easy, simple moves that can save you big money right here in this video.